Okay, so once I outlined my entire portrait with a Sharpie, that's just gonna be a nice outline for me to use. And I'm gonna use my ink dauber to fill in anything that I wanna be solid black. Now this is just like the dot paint that we've used many times, except we're not using this to make dots. We're using this to fill in spaces. They look exactly like the dot paint. It has the same kind of top. It has ink inside. The only difference is that this is permanent ink. This is not washable. So it's almost like an ink form of a Sharpie. You do not want to touch it with your fingers. It'll take a while to get off. And once it's on the paper, it is going to be very wet. So you don't want to smudge it with your hand and you want to let it dry. So we're going to find wherever we want it to be solid black and we're just going to fill it in like paint. So if this is all the hair, I'm gonna just lightly, and I'm not squeezing anything, I'm not shaking it at all, I'm just going over it really lightly, and it gives it a really nice dark black pigment. If you have any spaces that are really small, you can always use the side, and that'll get in the corners a little better. And the Sharpie is going to help you almost like a coloring book just to kind of stay in the lines. You're going to keep going around until you have everything filled that you want black. So now that I'm done filling in all the black, you can see that using this instead of paint just gives it a really, really nice dark pigment. Everything is filled in and now I'm ready to do all of the colors and the words. Now you're gonna notice that I also added the one eye, like the cover of Wonder, and a word. So you can make your eye however you want. You can choose it on whatever side you want. The only reason I did one is because I'm mimicking the cover of the book. If you want to do two, of course, that's fine. It's just not going to resemble the book as well. But that's totally your choice. So I drew my eye. I outlined it in Sharpie. And I also chose the word artist. Now, you're going to choose a word that really resembles you. So if you were to describe yourself in one word, what would it be? And that's going to be the emphasis of your self-portrait. So you can write it in whatever type of font you want. You can do it like in block letters or fancy writing. That is totally up to you. Now, once all of the ink for your hair is done and the eye and your emphasis word is done, we're now going to color the background using watercolors. Now, on your paint palette, you obviously have a ton of different colors, but I want you to think of a feeling that you want to portray in your self-portrait. All these different colors, they all resemble different moods, different feelings. So when I look at like the oranges, the reds, the yellows, usually that's more of like an energetic feeling or something that's a little more bright and happy. However, when you do like the blues and purples, that usually gives a more somber look or something that maybe is a little more calming or relaxed. Now you might decide to choose one of those sets of colors or maybe just specific colors for different moods, or maybe you want to take a ton of these colors to resemble different things and kind of mix them all together in like a tie-dye look. It is totally up to you, but pre-plan how you're going to do this before you actually start painting. So since I'm showing that my emphasis word is artist, I'm gonna actually decide to do like a lot of different colors to represent obviously art, but also all the different moods that I might have or that I might feel. So when you paint, I want you to remember the wash, wipe, wiggle. those 3 words. Wash, wipe, and wiggle is going to be really helpful for when you remember to switch colors so that you can keep your brush really nice and clean. Now, obviously on your paper, you can mix as many colors as you want or blend edges and kind of play around with it. But on your paint palette is where you really want to keep your brush clean. That way you have all these different colors to choose from. So I'm just going to go ahead, wash my brush, wipe it on the edge, and then wiggle it in the color I want. And again, obviously, as you wiggle it more, you're gonna have more color on there. The lighter you do, the less you wiggle, the lighter it's gonna be. So I'm just gonna start to paint where I want to paint. Now you'll notice that I want to make this blend between the 2 colors, and that's why I'm overlapping it a little bit, just so that those 2 colors can mix together. And I want to do that before it gets too dry. Otherwise, they're not going to blend. So now the final step is I went around and I added in different words that described me. And you fill the outside with all those unique words, and then you're done. And there's really no rule for how you're gonna put those words. I obviously decided to go around the shape of my hair, and then I kind of just filled it in like that. However, if you want, you can do it any other way. Just go slow, take your time, and think of words that are important to you.